Hello, everyone, and welcome to our weekly class. I am Christine Josty of Mill Something Pretty, and I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And I have a fun project to show you today. It is a interlocking, no, no, it's not, interlocking crossover gatefold card. Took me obviously a long time because I couldn't get it right what it's called. And it's actually a project we did for a club last week, and I had prepped it a month ago before I went away, and for some reason I didn't include the measurements with all the stuff. So to all my club members, I have the measurements. I can show you. You can take a screenshot, and you'll be good to go. So you don't have to measure your own. Hello, Nancy. I hope you're feeling better. Your poor teeth. I hope you're doing better. Um, Thanks for joining in. You must have lots of snow. We had a little snow the other day. We had like an inch left. It's kind of nice to have a little white on the ground, except for it's freezing. Hey, Kim. Great. I love it when you guys are on and you let me know and it's working all right. So we're gonna make Kim, we're gonna do that card we made last week, and I have the measurements. 'Cause I couldn't find them last week when we were doing them. So let me actually just go straight to my desk and I'll show you what we're gonna make. Here we go. Um, I brought a couple other samples. So we're gonna use the pear paper. The what's it called? Perfectly Pears paper. So here's the card closed. And when we open it up, you can actually kind of see construction of it. So when you open it up, here's the interlocking. And I don't know where the crossover comes because to me it just seems like interlocking gatefold card. So it's kind of cool. And so Donna, one of the night girls at the club, she had brought a card of the same format, but using the celebratory sips paper, that came out over the summer, the drinks and stuff. And I just loved it. So I took a paper. I'm so mixed up today. Took a picture and then she sent me the directions. And so we made it. So I just think it's kind of fun. So that's what we're going to make today. All right. So for those who like to take a screenshot, I'll show this a couple times, but here are the measurements of the card. Put that down right there for a second as I get my other stuff out of my basket. So we're actually mostly just using the paper. Well, here's another version of it. So this one obviously is a happy birthday. This one I did a sending you healing vibes. This is an old stamp set, but I love it. It's one that I'll keep just because I love this. I think it was called Healing Hugs from many years ago. But you can see, you can kind of do it however. And I know some people are even closing it. They're doing it like that way. No, I can't even do it how they were doing it. I don't know. I don't know what they were doing. But anyways, it's supposed to go, oh, maybe they were just closing it that way. So you could actually even have it just closed that way, but the whole kind of point is to have that interlocking part of it. All right, so we're going to use the same color. So this is Darling Duckling. Hi, Debbie. Thanks for hopping on. This is Darling Duckling, which is I was saying last week, it's like a funny color. And I don't mean it funny as weird, but I mean, depending on what you pun pair it with, it kind of takes the tone. So when I have it with this paper, it really takes on a green tone. But then if you have it with something else, it will take on a yellow tone. So it's one of those kind of interesting colors that really it matters with what you're using it with. First, to be honest, I wasn't crazy about the color, but now I kind of like it. I'm treating it as kind of like a neutral. I kind of like it. I actually really like it with the beige, and which is what this is. All right, let's make a card. So my base is 11 by 5 1/4. So this is normally 11 by 8 1/2. So we're going to keep that 11. I'm going to open up my arm here. Oh, actually, I suppose I don't. Never mind. I don't have to open it up because we're going to cut it at 5 1/4. All right. So really, to make one card, you're only a lot of times we can get 2 bases out of one sheet of paper, but this one we can't. So this is kind of our base is this size. So 11 by 5 1/4. but I am going to use some of this for those interlocking. We need 3 of them. So I wrote down here, cut 3, 4 by 1 3/4. So what I'm going to do is cut 1 3/4 this way, and I'll get 2 out of it. So that's just scrap. I'm going to cut 4 inches, making sure. So you don't quite get, and that's leftover scrap. And then you need 1 more. So I happen to have 1 more. So you need 3 of these with your base. And you don't have to have them be the same color. They're actually kind of fun to make some with a different color. Kind of camouflages by having it the same color. Oops. But you could definitely have a different color. I think that would actually be fun. All right. Running out of room to put things down because I have all sorts of Christmas stuff up here. Presents and wrapping paper and everything is up here. I was actually just thinking, I think it was even around this time last year, not that far out, that I had that class. Wasn't a class. It was a guide on cleaning up your space. I think I need to pull that out and clean up because it's definitely needs it. All right. So the inside, and if you have a light color, you don't have to, but if you want an inside layer, that's 3 3 3/4 by 5. So I already have that cut. And like I said, I'm using basic beige. And then for the patterns, the 3 patterns here, you can cut that 2 different ways. And so you can either cut 3 pieces, 4 7/8 by 1 5/8. Don't worry about the 1/8 inches. You get used to them after you use them for a while. Or you could cut 1 sheet like here, 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. And I'm going to show you why I did that, because if you have pattern paper, then you can kind of see it aligned up a little bit. This covers up some of it, so it doesn't matter quite as much. But if you have some paper, you want to keep like in that direction and have it in segments, I would recommend cutting it in one piece. And now we're just going to trim the 3. But if you have paper that doesn't matter direction or anything, like this one probably wouldn't matter as much. You could just cut your strips, like if you're making multiples of the card. So you actually do need the cutter back. All right, so like I said, this is 4 7/8 wide. No, it's not. Yeah, it is. No, it's not. It's 3 5/8 wide by 4 7/8 long. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this way and this way at 1 5/8. And that really just makes them 3 equal pieces. So you can do 1 5/8 either on your trimmer this way. So here's one of them, and I'm going to keep them in the direction, or I discovered as I was doing this, the edge of your trimmer is also 1 5/8. So I could have it at the end there. Actually, you can kind of see because it's the end here, but it's also lined up 1 5/8. So depending on cutting. So these will be in that same direction. So I will keep them that way, like that. All right. Oh, I'm all scattered. I forgot to score the paper. Hey, Cindy, thanks for hopping on. We're making this fun. I don't know at what point you hopped on. We're making this fun interlocking crossover gatefold card, which you can use any patterns of paper. You can use anything on the front. It's kind of versatile, and I like it. I forgot to score my base. So the base is 11 by 5 1/4. So now we do need that arm. Oh. And we are going to score it at 1 3/4, 3 1/2, 7 1/2, and 9 1/4. And I'll show up those measurements again. Okay, if you wanted to take a screenshot, I'll have it close up. Here we go. Oh, let's get it all on the screen. There you go. That is the measurements for this card. Okay. The third time that I think I'm done with a trimmer. We'll find out. All right. So how I like to fold it is um, there's a score line here and here and here and here. So I'm going to do the middle one. I'm just going to burnish it and then I'm just going to go back. And then I'm going to flip it around and do the same thing. So it is symmetrical on both sides. There you go. So that's what it looks like. Just like that. So it opens up like that. Okay. So here is where kind of the trick comes in. You can either, and I think, I'm just wondering if you see it better. I actually might put, so you can either attach these all at once first, or you could put the patterns on. And I think I had been just putting the solids on a solid, but I think you might see it better. Uh-oh. Looking around, where's my glue? There it is. Phew. It was underneath cards. All right. I think I'm going to put this on first, only because I think you'll see it better, but it really doesn't matter. All right. So the way we cut the paper is you are going to have a, oops, hold on. Get that pressed down before it slides out of the way. You're going to have a wider border on either side and a skinny border top and bottom. Now, if you don't like that, you can make this wider. The reason why, I guess you could make it 4 inches. No, 4 inches is as wide as the paper. So you could do 3 3/4. What did I cut mine as? You know, I'm going to mix you all up. Sorry. 3 5/8. So you could, I don't know why. Maybe the person I copied from did it this way. But you could have made this 3 3/4 and then you'd have a skinnier border on the sides. But you can't even notice, can you? No one will know your intentions when you send the card. All right. Yeah, this one seems awfully. This one seems wider. That's because my paper is shorter. Okay, so the measurements I gave you will have more of an even border. And actually, when these are interlocking together, it actually looks like it's the same width everywhere. For some reason, that one was cut wrong. But it was, who knows? It's the holidays. Can you tell that my brain is a little crazy? I actually feel like I'm in pretty decent shape after last week because I wrote somewhere on Facebook, I guess, that I hosted 26 women for my garden club lunch last week, which was awesome, but it was like crazy busy. Oh, Cindy, you're making your hot fudge. Awesome. Oh my goodness, you're doing multi things. Thank you. That makes me feel better. I actually have some bread rising downstairs. And I just heard my daughter get home from work. My son is right across the door. Kind of share an office. Okay. So I'm glad that you're multitasking. I hope you don't mess up anything like I've been doing. All right. So here are my 3 panels. So the first one I'm going to attach to the top here. And I'm only going to put glue on this section, right? Because you don't want it to be closed shut. So I'm going to put a little square there. And then I'm going to attach this panel. I'm going to lift it up just to make sure. You want it to be like flush on both sides, the top and the top and the side. You want it to be flush. And it really is the same measurement. This strip is the same width as your card. So that goes, it goes like that. Oh, sorry. And then we're going to actually attach the bottom one. So if you're keeping them in order, so take the bottom one. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put glue here and put that on top like that. Hot fudge is a great thing. I like to, actually, it's a great gift to make hot fudge, and sometimes I do caramel also. And to my husband's chagrin, I save all our jelly jars. So I forget the name of the jar of jam or preserves, but it's the glass jar with the red and white gingham like metal top, and it's a French name. Um, Mademoiselle, I don't know what I don't speak French. But anyways, well, it's good jelly, but I also buy it for the jars because it makes the perfect size for hot fudge and caramel because it's like, I don't know, a little pint, maybe it's a half pint. And so we do that, which is fun. All right. So I have the top and the bottom glued on. And now I'm gonna close the card. I'm gonna hold it closed. And I'm gonna put glue right here. And then I'm gonna attach this one right there. So now you can see that my pairs are kind of in alignment. And I just noticed that this paper is slightly wider. Remember I had two that were I cut right now, and then I had one that was left over. It was not quite 4, it was that thick. All right, let's do that again. Put glue right in the middle here. And this just gets put right in the middle. It just fits right in there snug. There we go. Give it a press. And when we open it up, it opens like that. And that's kind of the whole key of the card, is that interlocking. So it's a great way if you have paper to use up, or stashes of paper, or you could even do 3 completely different patterns depending on what you're going to put on the front. It's pretty versatile. All right, so I'm going to put my inside in. That's going to go like, I'm just going to fold that back, maybe, and that was going to go right here. The 2 pretty neutrals together, like, and then you need, I think, a vibrant color to go with these, like Secret Sea with the beautiful, and the old olive that is in the, like, that kind of pairs it nicely together. And then depending on what you're putting on the front, you could stamp on the inside. I'm actually going to not stamp on the inside, but I am going to add some pairs. So I've already cut my pear shapes out of, there it is. Oh, yes, Cindy says, my friends say the same jar should they. I probably have, because I just put another one downstairs a few minutes ago. I probably have like a dozen of them. They're really good jars. So this is from that Perfectly Pairs paper, and that we used on the front too. And so I love how the dies cut the pairs perfectly. Same with the stem here. And then this one too, that all get cut. And actually these dies will also cut I get it in the right direction, the flowers there. So there's really very little to go wasteful with the paper. And I looked up, this is making me nervous, uncovered glue. I looked up to see the status. So I don't like to show you things if if it's out of stock or anything. It's not out of stock, it's available and it's on sale. And I wrote it down. There it is. So normally if you buy the bundle, which is the stamp set, which I brought up here just for reference. To be honest, I haven't used a stamp set tons. I've been actually relying on this paper, but definitely to use it's the same size. You get the stamp set. But if you get the bundle, it's normally $42.25, and that's at a 10% savings, but it's on sale, not the bundle, You have to order them separately. So the stamp set itself is on sale for $14 and the dies are on sale for $16.20. So those two added together is $30.20, which is a whole lot less expensive than the bundle. So that goes with a lot of the things right now that are on last chance. You kind of have to look. So they don't ever discount the, I don't think they ever discount the bundle, like the one item number on the sale. They discount the separate components. I don't know why, but it's just the system does it that way. And so just kind of buy them a la carte. The paper is not on sale. That's still at $12.50, but it's well worth it because it's like one of my favorite packs of paper. So if you're ever interested in a bundle, and if it's on last chance, just check to see. Sometimes it makes sense to order them separately, sometimes it doesn't. So I'm just going to put this right in here. And then and then this is going to go like that. And then I've already cut out squares. So this is from the Stylish Shapes dies. You can use anything. And that's just going to get laid on top of each other. Again, it's basic beige and old olive. You could use a circle, you could use an oval, doesn't matter. And this one is kind of big because it does cover up a lot of the card. And then I'm just going to attach it to like, it really gets attached here. But I will close it. And actually, before I do that, let's just put this on here. So I'm going to use my cutout pear, which I just love this paper for that reason. And I think that's why I haven't stamped a whole lot of the pears, is because this paper makes it so easy. And then I just give a little bit of glue here. And I did bring up some other samples of cards I've used this paper for, but I don't have all of them because I've mailed a bunch of them out, but I'll give you a little selection. And then we'll just stamp a nice little greeting and put that on, and then we're done. So for this one, like I said, I showed you the birthday version, and then I have a get well version. So it's pretty versatile. You can use whatever. So this one I'm going to use Thinking of You, because I thought that would be nice. That piece of paper is a little dirty. So I'm going to use this one. And I'm going to use Poppy Parade. I think it just kind of brings out a little bit of that pink. And this is just scrap paper, my 1/2-inch scrap that I have a whole bunch of. There we go. I'm going to let that sit for a second because any type of red or pink I find will smudge. So just put that aside. And I'll just add that right there. And I think I'll use dimensionals. Oh, actually, no, those are glued. All right, so what I'm going to do is just put a little glue right in the middle. And I'm just going to center that as best I can. A little glue there. Oh, I have an eraser. Do it now while I see it. Okay, and that should be dry. And I'm just going to snip. And then we'll just put a Thinking of You. It just like ties it all together. And that I will use a dimensional. Some mini ones right here. Actually, sometimes I let the tail of the end fly, but I can actually secure it down because it's all going to be on the card. There's no overhang. So Thinking of You. And then we'll just put a few little of these fun little dots. Let's see. Just going to kind of copy what I have here. Trying to decide where I wanted which color. And these have like a little sparkle in them. I don't know if you can tell, but it's kind of fun. So there we go. Thinking of You. It opens up like that. So that is the Interlocking Crossover Gatefold Card, the mouthful. But it's kind of cool. All right, so here are the 3 versions. You can see them. And I will take pictures of them and post them so you can have reference, as well as my little direction sheet. I'll do that too. All right, so what's happening in the Stampin' Up! World? It's kind of slow month. I wrote about this morning, and I'm going to actually sign up right after this. The Stampin' Up! Has a virtual, what's it called? The virtual card making retreat. I think it's called something like that. They did one over the summer. It was for scrapbooking. It was 3 days long, and all the supplies are part of the kit that you buy, and everything's cut for you. It's kind of nice because all you do is put it together. And you follow along the classes, and there's for this one, there's 15 different cards, and you get the stamp set, you get the dies, um, and then you get papers and everything. And then the retreat, this the card making, it's a 2-day retreat, and it's in January. I think it's the 22nd, 23rd. And but you can watch live. It's kind of a lot to watch, like continuous live, but you can, or you can watch some of it and watch the replay play later. And there's prizes, and it's all fun. I've heard good things about the scrapbooking one, and so I was excited they having a card one. So that's kind of happening. Those details are in my email this morning, but I can send it out to you too if you have questions. And next week is Christmas Eve. No, the day after our live, the 23rd. So I should be next week. And I know it's Hanukkah happening now. So anyone who's celebrating Hanukkah, happy Hanukkah. And yeah, and so I'm trying to think you can tell that I'm at like 5 miles and my head is going crazy. Um, but I think that's like in the Stampin' Up! World, that's what's happening. It's kind of a slower month, which makes sense because we are all crazy. But I have catalogs. So for anyone who has placed an order with me in the last year, they will be mailed out. I will probably mail them out after Christmas because they don't start until January 6th anyways. And so why give it to you early during all this? It'd be something to look forward to after Christmas. So those will get sent out after Christmas. And there's some fun stuff in there. And so I'm going to pre-order some things. That's why I didn't sign up for that class today, because I have to decide what I wanted to pre-order. All right, so I think that's what I have. I will be doing something with you next week. I have no idea what, but if I like ideas, so if you have any ideas, send them my way. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.